Hey guys, Novastar here. I just got finished seeing Star Wars VII with a bunch of my friends, basically Sean, Lonnie, and Jimmy Jam, and I just wanted to say it was awesome. And basically, the three-word review, go see it, right? I'll actually just make this more of a thoughts thing, so it'll be totally spoiler-free. I'm only doing this, of course, because, it's just kind of my initial thoughts right now, so it's just kind of going to be stream of thought. But just, first of all, it was a really great homage to the original films. It was really moving, and it was just amazingly paced, just a good film. I mean, really, I'm not trying to pay it fan service or anything like that and just say, oh, I better just say it's good because, well, I better say that. It really was. It was really fantastic. And just want to say, like, the music, very subtle, but it was all there. Like, all the good moments, everything that you'd expect. What are some other thoughts overall that I have to say? Just the drama behind it, the characters and the spirit was all there. So there wasn't any over homages to just CGI for the sake of CGI. When something exploded, it felt real, and at the same time, it was full of that Star Wars world where the graphics, they had to be there. There had to be little subtle things where you're like, oh yeah, that's really interesting. That's very Star Wars-like. But again, I think everybody kind of knew this. There was real sets and real visceral props and things, and the costumes. Everything was very just fantastic, So again, I'm trying to keep this spoiler-free. So some of the possible negatives, which again are extremely small, like basically it's easy to overlook anything that was wrong with this film, which I wouldn't say is even that. It'd just be more like a personal preference. There's nothing in there like, God forbid I say it, there's no Jar Jar Binks, and that is something I didn't like about the prequels. I'm not a prequel hater. I actually liked the films. So just kind of going on that side note, I liked the prequels. Were they perfect? No, not in my mind at least. But at the same time, I think George Lucas was telling a very overarching story where he wanted the prequels 1, 2, and 3 to also be connected to 4, 5, and 6. So there was a big job in that. I want to say 7 is kind of on its own. It's really hard to explain. I suppose enough time has gone by, and I don't mean just actually physically, but in the world of Star Wars, of course, it's followed along. So again, it doesn't take place directly after Return of the Jedi. It's kind of follows along with the age of Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford, aka Han and Leia, and so forth. So that's really cool. But in any case, it stands on its own. It doesn't really feel super connected to all the other films, even 4, 5, and 6. However, it's a great homage. It's probably what I would say is the perfect blending of the old and the new coming together in a really awesome way that didn't feel phony or anything like that, or forced. Anyways, I think I was trying to get to the negatives and I didn't really find that many. But one negative was, I would say that the film overall was rushed. And you'll understand maybe what I mean when you see it. That's not a bad thing, really. I mean, it's kind of a negative thing, but you'll see what I mean by that. I would say that I think that there were some moments, and again, I can't reveal what these are, and there were several of them, that I think would have been better to have built on and drawn out. And a lot of that has to do with developing character. But it is what it is. They decided to do the film the way that they wanted to do it. And it still worked, which was pretty amazing to me. They were able to pack so much drama and character into this film and still go through these very interesting things with the characters that I would have thought or have liked to have seen it in like 8 and 9 or 10 or whatever film. But it is what it is. When you see it, you'll know. But again, I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. I want to say a couple of details that, again, they're not spoilers. I have to be careful, of course, what I say. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I'm not that man. The battles were fantastic. And it wasn't just like, ready, CGI! That would have been like, okay, look, I got it. It's definitely a lot of graphics. I'm glad there was no moments where I was like, wow, it's definitely a lot of CGI. Oh, a lot of graphics. Because you can be impressed. You can be impressed by graphics. We all are. impressed by Iron Man, impressed by Avatar, impressed by even Lord of the Rings. But that's actually a good movie to kind of bring up, is that I was impressed by The Hobbit. Remember The Hobbit? Graphically, it was amazing, such a gorgeous movie. But it fell flat, in my mind, compared to The Lord of the Rings. We don't really have to go into that, because that's a complete side tangent, but it's a good example of when better graphics doesn't always equal better movie. It's the same with video games. Better graphics doesn't always equal better game. So fortunately, J.J. Abrams fist force pump up. I can't even talk because it's so late right now. It's like, 1 o'clock in the morning. It was amazing. Really great job. It now makes a lot more sense to me what we had heard these rumblings about J.J. Abrams not really liking the Star Trek universe, but doing it because it's a job and because, he's like, hey, this could be really cool. But it wasn't like in his heart. But he had said, hey, Star Wars, this is me. I want to do this thing and I can make this happen kind of thing. I haven't heard that he was originally very, he had a lot of trepidation, I should say, very nervous or something, even adverse to the possibility of directing it. Kathleen Kennedy had come up to him and they had said, George wanted you for this, and he was like, no, I'm not going to be able to handle this responsibility. And they just insisted. You can look that up again. I don't want to say I'm 100% sure of it, but I'm pretty damn sure. So you can look that up. But I think that also shows the amount of respect that he had. That he wasn't like, oh, Star Wars? Okay, I want to do it right away. Jumping at the idea of, oh, money, ooh, popularity. He was like, I don't know if I want to tackle that beast unless I'm absolutely prepared. And since they had enough belief in him, he took this responsibility on. So he really took it seriously, and he just destroyed this. He delivered it. He destroyed. He brought this movie back, I think. This movie series, I guess you should say. 10 years. 10 years. That's how long I've been doing my thing, really, too. I came into the Star Wars scene in terms of live performance in 2005. Not that many people knew me at that time because I was preparing Balance of Power Episode 1 and then launched it actually in 2006. But we had been preparing it, for about a year. And I'd been researching and preparing a lot of things before I even, met my cast or really cast it. But I'm getting off track here, but it's just amazing to me. 10 years since we've seen a Star Wars film in a theater. By the way, I saw it in 3D IMAX, San Francisco. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. I can't even begin to imagine what to say about that because, when we all first saw the films back in 1977 and 83, and I don't remember all the years actually, sorry, but you know what I'm trying to say is like, there was no such thing as 3D, even the screens were not, this thing was just crisp, clear 3D, it blows my mind. Anyways, the video's getting too long, starting to get on 9 minutes long. 3 words, go see it. You will not have a bad feeling about this. You will not have a bad feeling about this. You will have a good feeling about this. Ooh, I almost forgot. The last thing that I gotta show. But I gotta do it on quiet mode, so we'll see if I can do this simultaneously. Because people are asleep. I did it. This is the new photon blade that my friends from Vader's Vault, shout out to Alan and Deanna. I don't have any more hands because I'm holding the camera and the lightsaber. This photon blade's amazing. This is flange 5, which is normally blue. But as you can see, the blue LED easily changes into green, and it's definitely very, very bright. So anything that you've heard, just in case you weren't clear on it, it does. It's pretty significant, the amount of brightness that it adds to whatever the heck saber you already have. Granted, presently, you need a blue saber to translate it into being green. It's completely brighter than this old Luxian 5 saber that I have, and it's pretty amazing. That's all I have to say about that. I could say a little bit more, but again, now we're making the video even longer. But anyways, there you go, and may the Force be with you. Have a great holiday season, and thank you if you've been supporting me for over these years as Sylventar and Vader. You can see those guys in the background and all the work that I've been doing. May the Force be with you, and have fun I forgot. Peace out and have fun with your LED sabers. Boop.